in a few weeks' time. Daniel Dubois, Joseph Parker. It's a wonderful, terrific matchup.
Yeah.
Which way are you swinging on that?
I think Joseph Parker will win the fight.
Martin Bacol shared his bold prediction for the upcoming Dubois versus Parker fight, claiming the outcome will be far from what most expect.
Beat the champion who's going to win the fight between Dubois and Parker, and I'll see what will be next.
Who would you rather fight out of Dubois and Parker?
The winner. So I think Parker will win the fight. I think that's my opinion. But the winner of
Bacoli, who is currently preparing for a showdown with Efe Agagba with a spot as the mandatory challenger to the IBF heavyweight title at stake, has remained focused on what he believes will be his own route to a world title. But despite his own ambitions, he has not hesitated to weigh in on the fight between Dubois and Parker. Interestingly, Bacol's prediction goes against the grain of many analysts and observers who lean toward Dubois as the favorite. In Bacol's view, Joseph Parker will triumph over Dubois, and his reasoning offers an insight into the strategic elements of the fight.
Because Daniel Dubois, he never fight someone. We saw Daniel Dubois against Usyk, and Daniel Dubois doesn't want to fight someone who's moving a lot, and I think Joseph Parker is going to do the same.
According to Bacol, the key to Parker's victory lies in Dubois' struggle against opponents who can move around the ring. He recalls Dubois' previous encounter with Alexander Usyk, where the British fighter had difficulty dealing with a quick, elusive opponent. Bacol firmly believes that Parker, known for his movement and agility, will exploit this weakness. If Parker can replicate the elusive box-on-the-move strategy that Usyk used, Bacol argues he will wear down Dubois and ultimately take control of the fight.
That's my opinion. I think Daniel Dubois, it will be in the shit. So Parker will take over and win the fight.
Meanwhile, other experts have weighed in on the fight with varying degrees of support for both Dubois and Parker. For Jai Opetaia, the hype surrounding the press conferences and media attention surrounding the fight is just part of the spectacle. Opetaia sees both Dubois and Parker as world-class fighters who have earned their places at the top of the division. While he recognizes their respective talents and abilities, Opetaia is excited for the fight, expecting an intense and thrilling contest that will bring out the best in both fighters. However, despite acknowledging their shared experience and skills, he does not make a definitive prediction about the outcome, instead focusing on the anticipation surrounding the event.
What do you think that Parker can do to take advantage, perhaps maybe of Dubois' overconfidence coming into this fight? What do you think that he could do to mentally prepare so he could take that win?
Well, I don't think he's overconfident, man. All this press conference, all this shit, bro, this is his talk. This is for you guys. You know, they're fighters. They're world champions. You know what I mean? They know what they're doing. Don't let these words fool you. You know, they win world titles for a reason, and Parker's been there too. You know, I feel like this fight we're going to be the best. We're going to see the best version of both of them. So it's exciting.
Justus Hooney also believes that Parker has the necessary skills to defeat Dubois. Hooney points to Parker's superior speed and footwork as key advantages that could give the New Zealander the upper hand in the bout. The emphasis on movement and agility appears to be a recurring theme in many analysts' predictions, with several experts pointing out that Parker's ability to avoid getting bogged down in Dubois' powerful but somewhat straightforward style could be critical to his success.
I think Joseph Parker has what it takes to beat Dubois. He's got the speed, footwork. Just as long as he doesn't, stay in there and get caught up in Dubois' fight, I think he's got what it takes to, get those titles.
On the other hand, Chris Lovejoy expresses more skepticism about Dubois' chances in the fight, especially when it comes to his technical abilities. Lovejoy argues that Dubois, despite possessing a durable chin, lacks the skills necessary to deal with someone as technically proficient as Parker. In Lovejoy's view, Parker's ability to outbox Dubois and avoid the big punches will prove to be too much for the Brit, especially in the early rounds. For Lovejoy, it's Parker's superior boxing ability that will shine through, ultimately securing him the victory.
I got Parker. Daniel Dubois, he just can't really get right. He has no real skill. Pretty durable chin. Art is kind of questionable. But I don't think skill-wise he can mess with Parker. I think Parker would be too much for him. I think Parker would be too much for him early in the fight.
Simon Jordan offers a more optimistic perspective for Dubois, predicting that he will stop Parker in the upcoming fight. While he acknowledges Parker's recent strong performances, including victories over Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang, Jordan believes that Dubois' power and aggressive approach will prove to be too much for Parker. He views Dubois as the clear favorite, emphasizing that the British fighter's ability to dominate with his physicality and knockout power will give him the edge, although he still respects Parker's talents.
And so you find yourself in a situation when you listen to Joseph Parker that there's not a lot of trash talking that goes on. He can have a go, and he did the other day in the face-off when he had a little bit back and forward with Daniel Dubois with Adi Oladipo on DAZN. But most of the time you get sensible conversation about him. He's very respectful. He's also a very good fighter. I just think that Daniel Dubois is going to be a step too far for him. I don't think it's a formality, but I do think that Daniel will win, and I do think that he'll stop him.
Amir Khan, who has followed Dubois' career closely, shares Jordan's confidence in the Brit's abilities. Khan points to Dubois' recent dominant performances, including his knockout victory over Filip Hrgović, as signs of a fighter who is growing in both confidence and skill. Khan believes that Dubois' knockout power, combined with his increased confidence, will allow him to overcome Parker, who he recognizes as a skilled and dangerous opponent. For Khan, Dubois' aggressive style and physical strength will ultimately prevail, though he acknowledges that Parker will present a tough challenge.
I like Dubois, man. Dubois a beast. Honestly, I said that from when he fought against Hrgović. I said that, yo, who is this kid, man? I go, this kid's good. And I remember watching that live, and I like the way he fought and how he puts his punches together and how strong he is, and the way he took those fighters apart. Obviously, he's coming off a great win against Anthony Joshua. He's gonna have more confidence. So yeah, I think I got Dubois going in that fight winning.
Zhilei Zhang offers a more nuanced take on the fight. Initially favoring Dubois to retain his title, Zhang has revised his opinion and now views the contest as a genuine 50-50 matchup. Zhang recognizes that Dubois' knockout power is a serious threat, but he also acknowledges Parker's adaptability and experience, which could be decisive factors in the contest. Zhang's shift in perspective highlights the unpredictability of the fight, with both fighters possessing attributes that could tip the scales in their favor.
Oh, it's a hard predict because I think this is a truly 50-50 fight, and I like both of these fighters. I think if I have to say something, I'll tell Dubois to come down and don't be overlooking Joseph Parker.
Joe Joyce, a fighter who has squared off against both Dubois and Parker in the ring, brings a unique perspective to the discussion. Joyce, who defeated Dubois in 2020, believes that the early rounds will be crucial in determining the winner. He suggests that whoever can land the first significant punch and establish control early on will gain a tactical advantage. Joyce emphasizes that Parker's ability to manage the pace of the fight and avoid getting caught up in Dubois' aggressive style will be vital to his success. Based on his own experience in the ring with Dubois, Joyce argues that Parker's movement and technical skill will be key to frustrating Dubois and limiting his chances of landing a knockout punch.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. Like, obviously Dubois hits hard. He's come from like more, I don't know, stepped up. But then also Parker as well. Like they've both come along and they've both like been in big fights. So yeah, I'm really excited to see who gets the win.
Yeah, they've both been on really good form recently. The past year or two.
Both got different attributes, but see, may the best man win.
Tony Bellew offers a balanced perspective, acknowledging both Dubois' knockout power and Parker's punching ability. Bellew believes that Parker's strength, which is often underrated, could play a significant role in the fight. In fact, he goes as far as to suggest that Parker may hit harder than Alexander Usyk, the current heavyweight champion. Bellew also recognizes the challenges Parker will face against Dubois, particularly when it comes to the Brit's youthful energy and knockout potential. For Bellew, the fight is a complex one, with both fighters possessing strengths that could swing the result either way.
Joseph Parker, Daniel Dubois aside, is the most informed heavyweight in the world.
Yeah, both of them in great form, to be fair, yeah.
If anything, I think actually Joseph Parker is in better form than Daniel Dubois, because that spree of fights of Deontay Wilder, Zhilei Zhang.
Yeah, great.
Let's just look at it for what it is.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous because Zhilei Zhang was undefeated, in my opinion, until he faced Joseph Parker.
He's becoming a bit of a giant killer, Joseph Parker, really, isn't he?
He really has. And I've got to
is
give
Daniel
him...
Dubois next on the list for him? Yeah.
It's a potential.
Yeah.
Adam Smith, a close associate of Parker's camp, is confident that the New Zealander is in peak physical condition and ready to face the challenge posed by Dubois. While acknowledging Dubois' recent momentum and rise in confidence, Smith believes that Parker's experience and mental readiness will prove to be the key to his success. According to Smith, Parker's ability to stay composed under pressure and perform in big moments will be critical in handling the intensity of the fight. For Smith, Parker's experience at the highest level will give him the advantage over Dubois, who is still developing as a top-tier heavyweight.
Yeah, second one. No soft touch here. Joseph Parker's in the form of his life. Andy Lee has been amazing for him. I spoke to Joe on my podcast a couple of days ago, and he is just absolutely bang up for this. He's put a bit of muscle on. He's got George Lockhart with him. He's got Andy Lee. He's got a great team. Obviously, one of the nicest people in boxing. Daniel Dubois has got the momentum and the confidence now. It's fantastic being around him. He came back from a holiday in Brazil, super sharp. I saw him on the pads, maybe in his first or second training session back, and he looked incredible.
Dave Allen, who initially leaned toward Parker's victory, believes that the New Zealander's superior boxing ability will ultimately outshine Dubois' raw power. Allen points out that power alone will not be enough for Dubois to defeat someone as disciplined and intelligent as Parker. He argues that Parker's ability to outbox Dubois and maintain a tactical approach will allow him to control the later rounds, when Dubois may struggle to sustain his power. Allen's prediction hinges on Parker's ability to manage the fight's pace and take advantage of Dubois' potential vulnerabilities.
I can see Parker beating him on points, yeah. But Dubois is getting bigger and stronger all the time. Like Dubois is a different kettle of fish now 2 years ago. So, you know, when it only takes one fight to paint a picture. Like, I used to be known as one of the hardest men in British boxing. I pull out in the corner against Fraser Clark. I'm a quitter on this and that. You know, you go from one of the hardest men in British boxing to a quitter overnight. But I used to look at Dubois and go, he's got a bit of quitting in him. He's a bit chinny out. You know what I mean? Like, he's not anymore, is he? Like, he's walked through Hergo, he's walked through Miller, walked through Joshua.
Carl Froch takes a similarly measured approach to the fight, acknowledging Dubois' knockout power but favoring Parker due to his ability to adjust his strategy and frustrate opponents. Froch believes that Parker's movement and defense will be essential in avoiding Dubois' heavy shots, and if Parker can establish his game plan early, he will make it difficult for Dubois to execute his preferred style. Froch also highlights Parker's resilience, suggesting that his ability to absorb pressure and remain calm under fire could make him a tough opponent for Dubois to break down.
I think a Joseph Parker fight, he's bigger than Parker, naturally bigger. He punches hard on him, but Parker's on a couple of decent wins. Yeah, beat Zhang, he beat Deontay Wilder. They're good wins in good form. Do you know what I mean? He's looking like he's really getting his second win in his career. So if Dubois can beat Joseph Parker after the wipeout job against AJ, he really has established himself as a bona fide world champion.
Yeah.
So, and it's a fight that will be good because you never know because Parker's got all that, he's got bags of experience.
Yeah.
Dave Coldwell, who works closely with Parker, has been vocal in praising the New Zealander's abilities, arguing that many are underestimating him ahead of the fight. Coldwell points to Parker's superior technical boxing and vast experience as factors that will give him an edge over Dubois, who relies heavily on power. According to Coldwell, Parker's diverse skill set will allow him to outthink and outmaneuver Dubois, challenging the assumption that the Brit is the clear favorite. Coldwell believes that Parker's intelligence and technical proficiency will be decisive factors in the fight.
Parker Dubois. I fancy Parker is not an underdog in this fight. Everyone makes out as though he's a massive underdog. I'm not saying Dubois can't beat him or isn't going to beat him, but I'm saying I can see so many ways how so many assets that Parker has that can cause Dubois a lot of problems, and if Parker wins, I'm not going to be shocked.
Chris Algieri shares similar thoughts, acknowledging that while Dubois' power is a major threat, Parker's strategic adaptability could prove to be too much for the British fighter. Algieri believes that the fight will likely go the distance, with Parker using his experience and intelligence to control the tempo and frustrate Dubois. While Dubois has the capability to knock Parker out, Algieri suggests that Parker's ability to adjust his tactics will give him the upper hand, particularly if Dubois struggles to land his big punches.
It's a really tough fight for Dubois. Not an easy route for anyone in the heavyweight division, this new version of Joseph Parker. The guy's got a very good chin. He's got a great gas tank, good motor. He knows how to fight punchers. He's coming off of 2 humongous punchers in Wilder and Zhang. Granted, Wilder didn't fight the fight, doesn't look to himself, but Zhang sure did. Zhang dropped him twice. Parker got up and outboxed him. He's a very, very capable guy in there, even a heavyweight. He's a big guy, too. People forget. Yes, he's a technician. Yes, he's kind of crafty and will outmaneuver you, but he's big enough, durable enough to deal with these super heavyweight guys and a big punch like Dubois. Very, very tough fight. Good matchup.
Nick Campbell sees the fight as a battle between 2 fighters in peak form. He notes that while both Dubois and Parker have demonstrated their strengths in recent bouts, the outcome will largely depend on who can execute their game plan more effectively. Campbell recognizes Parker's experience against top-tier fighters like Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang, but also acknowledges the threat posed by Dubois's raw power. Campbell suggests the contrast between power and technical ability will make this a thrilling contest that could go either way, depending on who can implement their strategy more effectively.
I think if you need to be honest about it, listen, Joe's a really good friend of mine, but if I want to be impartial and I want to pass comment on things and I want to, I need to be honest about it. It is a 50-50 fight. I think you look at both guys' momentum, like you just said, Dubois has been unbelievable in his last 3 fights, 3 big wins. You look at Joe, his last 2 fights, especially Wilder and Zhang, 2 unbelievable wins, 2 great performances. I think if you look at both fighters, they're both pretty opposing characters, pretty polar opposite really in their personality, the way they go about things, their journey so far.
Paulie Malignaggi raises concerns about Dubois' ability to cope with Parker's technical skill and movement. Malignaggi argues that while Dubois has thrived against more aggressive opponents, Parker's defensive abilities and footwork could present significant challenges. He believes that if Dubois cannot adjust to Parker's strategy, he will find himself on the back foot, unable to land his signature knockout punches. Malignaggi's analysis highlights the strategic nature of the fight, where Parker's ability to keep Dubois guessing and frustrated could make all the difference.
Oh, gee, that's a good question. It's probably, you're looking at a multi-layered fighter when it comes to Parker. I think you're going to have to, Dubois is going to have to show us something that we may not have seen in him. We know he's got this reputation as an explosive, bulky type of fighter who can create highlight reel knockouts. But I think he's going to have to show some of the IQ, if there is any, there. And that's going to expose whether there is any or not. And if he's able to beat Parker because he's going to have to show this IQ in this fight, then we're going to be able to check off another one of the boxes in terms of how we rate Dubois and say, okay, he's even higher and even better level than we've given him credit so far. It's another one of those check marks that you can say, okay.
Sean Porter believes that Dubois' power and improved skills will ultimately secure the victory for the British fighter. Porter acknowledges Parker's intelligence and adaptability, but suggests that Dubois' raw power and physical strength will carry him through. Porter believes that as the fight progresses, Dubois' growing ring awareness and momentum will give him the edge, and he will prove to be too much for Parker to handle.
He's fought Jarrell Miller, Philip Hergovich, Anthony Joshua, and now fighting Joseph Parker within 18 months. He's only 27 years old.
Love it. I love that he's been busy. His fight with Joshua wasn't a big bruiser, so coming back, and especially coming back against Parker is that's a really good fight for him. I think it's a fight that he'll win, but it's a good boxing match. And then like I always say, more than anything, I want to see good boxing matches.
I think that what's been incredible with Daniel was, years ago he got stopped by Joe Joyce. A lot of people labelled him a quitter. Same thing happened in the Usyk fight.
He had to grow up. And listen, this is what we know about heavyweights. They mature later than in the other weight class. So he matured a little later, and I think he's grown through some of his growing pains. And the worst thing for a fighter is you see our growing pains.
As the countdown to the fight continues, the predictions for the Dubois versus Parker showdown are diverse, with analysts and former fighters offering different takes on the contest. So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.